Respiration in human beings. How do human beings respire? The air enters the human body through the nostrils, which are present. The air then passes through the nasal cavity. You just see the video, how the air particles are just passing through the nasal cavity. It moves through the throat and then the trachea. There is a cartilaginous ring at the base of the throat. Because of the presence of the cartilaginous ring, the air passage does not collapse. From here, the air passes through the bronchi. Bronchi form a network of tubes called the bronchioles. Each bronchiole has got alveoli at the end. Alveoli are lined by blood vessels. Ribs and the diaphragm also form an important part of the respiratory system. Oxygen enters into the body. It combines with the RBC because RBC has got a great affinity for oxygen because of the presence of a pigment called hemoglobin. Carbon dioxide is released out. Bigger organisms cannot take in air like that directly. They need the help of a pigment. So this pigment that is called hemoglobin, which absorbs the oxygen from the air in the lungs and carries it to tissues all over the body. Hemoglobin combines with oxygen and forms oxyhemoglobin, and in that form it is circulated to all the parts of the body. It reaches the alveoli. So you just now saw the video where you learned about the mechanism of breathing. Let me repeat it once again. In the human beings, air is taken into the body through the nostrils. The air is filtered by fine hairs and mucus which are present in the lining of the passage. Air passes through the throat where rings of cartilage are present, and these ensure that these cartilages ensure that the air passage does not collapse. Within the lungs, the passage divides into smaller and smaller tubes, which finally terminate into balloon-like alveoli, which the alveoli provide a rich surface for exchange of gases, and they also contain a large network of blood vessels for gaseous exchange. Now, you're all familiar with the word inhalation and exhalation. When we inhale, our ribs are lifted up and the diaphragm gets flattened. So there is more space in the chest cavity. So oxygen-rich air is sucked into the lungs and fills the alveoli. The blood brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body to the alveoli, and oxygen is transported to different parts of the body. So that's a mechanism of breathing. Which are the parts that are mainly involved in this process? They are the nostrils, then it's passing through the nasal cavity, it reaches the throat, or where the rings of cartilages are there, then it goes through the trachea, and of course it reaches the bronchi, bronchioles, and it goes to your lungs. And as this process goes on, well, let me tell you that in the nasal cavity, we are having a lot of fine hairs and mucus, and that is actually preventing the dust particles from entering into your body. Only the air is going inside. So as it is going, it passes through the throat. At the bottom of the throat, or at the base of the throat, let me say, there are rings of cartilage, and they do not allow the air passage to collapse. And after the air passage reaches the lungs, the passage is dividing into smaller and smaller tubes, which finally terminate into balloon-like alveoli. Very important question, what are alveoli? So they are the balloon-like structures that are there in the lungs. And the alveoli functions provide a surface for exchange of gases, and they also contain a large network of blood vessels for gaseous exchange. What happens during breathing? When we are inhaling, our ribs are lifted up, the diaphragm gets flattened, more space in the chest cavity, so oxygen-rich air is sucked into the lungs and fills the alveoli. But when the blood brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body, then it passes to the alveoli and oxygen is transported to different parts of the body. The next topic is during breathing cycle. When air is taken in and letting out, and the carbon dioxide is let out, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air. What is this residual volume of air? It is actually like a small reserve that is kept. You all know, when those of you who have got the vehicles with you, you know that some residual volume of petrol or like a reserve, something is always kept, so which helps you to go to your nearest destination where a petrol pump is available. Similarly, in our lungs, we have got a residual volume of air so that there is sufficient time for the oxygen to be absorbed and carbon dioxide to be released. So what is the function of residual volume of air? That is a very important question. Now, why do larger animals need a respiratory pigment? When I showed you the screen video, I told you that bigger animals, they need the respiratory pigments because they need a pigment like hemoglobin, which has got a high affinity for oxygen. Then only they can take up the oxygen from the air and carry it to the tissues that have less oxygen. And this pigment, where is it present? Is present in the RBC, red blood cells. So with that topic, the respiration comes to an end. You have studied about what is respiration, what are the different forms of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, what are the different pathways by which the glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen, in the absence of oxygen, and in the lack of oxygen. We also learned why do aquatic animals need a faster rate of breathing, because they have got very less supply of oxygen dissolved in the water in which they live. And we also studied about the mechanism of respiration.